So I've been experimenting with a very simple ingredient that creates these beautiful shades of blue. I tried different techniques, layering textures, adding shimmer, and playing with patterns. And the results are really unique. I'll walk you through the process, share the experiments in real time, and show how these papers can be combined in a junk journal. It's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. So I'm going to take some red cabbage. This is about 1/4 of a head. And then I added some water. My pot is about half full. So the cabbage is floating quite freely in there. And I think that should be enough water to dye my papers. So let's boil this baby. So once it starts boiling, we immediately see the water turning like purple blue. You see that? It is such a gorgeous color. We don't even need to boil it long. I will leave it in here simmering for, let's say, 15 minutes. Okay, so I left this on my balcony to cool. Oh my goodness, the color is just crazy. Look at this. So I will just remove the cabbage. Wow, it is such a beautiful purple. This intense color actually reminds me of the Villainous Potion Distress Oxides. Scary stuff. And the cabbage has turned completely blue. I don't know if you can see it well in the camera, but that is blue, not purple. And that is what I'm looking for my papers as well. I don't want them purple, I want them blue. So we're in my craft room now, and on my floor I have put some plastic underneath some newspaper. So this is where my papers are going to go to dry. And here I have a rusty pan that I only use for paper dyeing. So I'm going to add the cabbage water to this. So then I'm going to just take some regular copy paper. I usually use 80 GSM. And just like with coffee, oh my goodness, do you see this blue? This is so amazing. I'm just going to dip these in just like I would with regular coffee dyeing. So I do a few at a time. I'm blown away by this color. Wow. I did not think it would be so intensely blue. I thought it would be more like a purpley blue, but this is like denim blue. Wow. I love it. And I want to leave some white spots on them, on some of them. I don't need them all to be completely saturated. We'll see if that actually works. I might have to do some separately to get that effect. But we'll play around and we'll try different things. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. I'm already in love. And of course, the longer we leave them in this solution, the more intense the color will be. But at the same time, we don't want to leave them too long because otherwise my paper is going to tear when I take it out. So it's a fine line. Okay, I'm just gonna start taking these out. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Then I'll just lay them on my newspaper, which is going to add a bit of grunge as well, because you can probably see my newspaper is already pretty grunged up from previous paper dyeing, and I always use the same newspaper, and that really adds some unique grunginess to the papers. Of course, the better quality your paper, the less likely it will tear. If you use the cheapest kind of like 70 GSM copy paper, it will definitely tear more easily. Okay, so this is what I have now, and you see these yellow parts coming through the paper. That's because I had some yellow, I'm guessing it was watercolor, or it might have been Distress Oxide sprays on the newspaper. So of course that is now being soaked up by the blue paper, and I think it's going to give some really neat designs. Also, you see I crumpled some of them up, so that will give again another type of design. And what I really like is where you see the liquid pooling. That is of course because my surface is not even with the newspaper, so that makes the liquid pool, and that is again going to give us an interesting visual texture. So I really like that. Also, we see some of the papers are a bit darker than the others because I've left them in the bath a little longer. Some of these have some white spots, which is exactly what I wanted. So let's keep adding things to make them more interesting. It's a bit tricky to film on the floor here, but we'll do our best. So the first thing I want to do is to add some of these placemats. And hopefully we'll get the design on these papers. Just trying to arrange them a little better. So look for plastic placemats that have holes. And that way we should get a nice design. So let's put this down, make sure that it's flush with the paper. And I added some of the cabbage water to a little spray bottle. So I'm going to spray some of this through our placemat now. So that should intensify the design. So then I also have this placemat. So we'll do the same thing. Of course, this would be great to do on a sunny day outside. I think the sun drying this will intensify the design again, but it's winter here, it's February. It's not gonna happen. So we'll do the best with our circumstances. And I also have this interesting piece here. I'm not sure what this is made of. It feels quite plasticky. I've had great success with this, with coffee dyeing. So let's give this a try as well. Then I'm also going to add some of the liquid to my crumpled up balls. And then when you have these where you have some liquid here, it's fun to add some coarse grained salt. And since I don't have enough of these papers that have this pooling, let's add some more liquid to some of these so we can have more of this effect. So I'll just spray some here. And then add some salt. You can also, of course, use the fine-grained salt. But what I have learned with that is you can't really rub it off. So your paper is going to be very rough where you added the fine-grained salt, even after it's dry. And of course, you can do all of these same effects just with coffee. I know from experience that the effect of adding some instant coffee directly onto the papers has a really cool effect, but I've never done it with the blue. So let's see what that would look like. I think that could look really, really interesting. This is going to get very intense, of course, wherever the coffee is. And we could spray some more on top. Wow, that is going to look very, very grungy. I love it. So then I added 3 stencils here. I'm going to spray through them. The first one I'm going to try with Distress Oxide Spray Uncharted Mariner. This is the closest blue I have to our papers. And maybe let's add a little bit to some of these balls. Why not? That could give an interesting effect as well. Then for the next one, I'm going to try my iZink dye spray by Seth Apter called Goldmine. And I'm adding a little bit to the balls as well because a gold can never really hurt. The stencil I don't think is going to work that well because I don't have enough in here to be able to give it a good spray. But we'll see. Lastly, I'm going to try this Distress Spritz in Spiced Marmalade. Okay, so this is the mess we currently have. And now the most challenging part is patience, because these really need to dry. And once they're dry, we'll see whether we want to add anything else to them. So it's the next morning, all of my papers have dried, and these are the ones that are still a little bit plain. I mean, they're not plain, but I would like to add a little more interest to these 8 papers. I will again take one of these pieces that I've already used before. Let's see what that will look like if I spray some Distress Spritz Uncharted Mariner through that. I just want a little bit. Oh. This is totally spraying in unpredictable directions. What? And it's new. This is the first time I'm using this. There we go. That's better. Okay. Since this now already has some of it on, let's just add a few more sprinkles on this one as well. And that one. Then I have another placemat with these beautiful leaves. I'll put that over 2 of my papers. And I'll use some fossilized amber Distress Spritz for that. And for these 2 remaining ones, I'll just add the spritz as it is. Basically, that's just adding some gold sparkles. Okay, so let me share the results with you. I am super happy with these. I love these different shades of color. And if you remember, I got these because I had these dry on my already grunged up newspapers that already had dried coffee on them, which came through. And it's just so gorgeous. I love this combination of the blue and the warm brown. And in some parts we have the yellow because apparently I used yellow. I don't remember if it was watercolor or if it was some sort of a distress oxide or spray stain, but it doesn't matter. Anything that is water soluble that's going to be on the surface that you dry these on is going to come through. So this is the back side. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Here's the other one. So with these first ones, I did nothing besides just letting them dry on that grungy newspaper. Stunning. On this one, we have a little bit of the spritz. This one tore a little bit, but it's gorgeous. And I will show you how these look combined with other papers. I wish I had more of these. Remember, I was trying to get some of them where not everything was dyed on the page. This is pretty much, I think, the only one. Maybe there's one other one where I managed to do that. I want more of this because I think this adds so much interest. Here on the back as well. This is where we added the Uncharted Mariner Distress Spritz. It has a very light shimmer. It doesn't really come through on the camera. The spritz did not go through to the other side. Again, here we have some more of that same spritz. And another one here. And this is the last one with the Uncharted Mariner on it. This is kind of too much for me. But I think in combination, I actually like the backside better. In combination with other papers, it will be fine. On this one, we have the Distress Spritz Fossilized Amber, which is a beautiful light shimmery gold. Look at this. When the light hits it, it's just gorgeous. Again, this did not come through onto the backside. So here's another one with that gold shimmer. How gorgeous. And this is the one where we sprayed the Fossilized Amber Distress Spritz through that leaf placemat. How gorgeous is this? Oh my goodness. Wow. I can't get over how amazingly shimmery this pattern came out. This was the one where we spritzed the Izink dye spray in gold. This is very in your face. But again, I think combined with other papers, it will be very nice. This is too dark for my own taste, but it was good to see. This is the one where we used the Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide. It did go through the back a little bit. I actually prefer this side, which is not so like in your face. Here we have a combination of Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide and the gold iZink dye spray by Seth Apter. I love this part here. And this is the back, also gorgeous. So on these, I sprayed through my stencil with the iZink dye spray in gold. I'm obsessed with this. I did not think this would come out as well as it did. Absolutely stunning. Did not go through the back. And this was the other placemat. Remember that big round one I started off with? Here we have a little bit of the pretty much undyed paper. I mean, it's not completely white. Here it's a little more white. I just love these. It's a little crinkly, it doesn't matter. There's the fourth one with that pattern. Then we have the other placemat. That pattern came out really, really well. So if you remember, we laid the placemats on top of the dyed paper and then we spritzed the same solution we used for dyeing through that placemat. And very important, you have to leave it for a few hours. In my case, I left it overnight, which was perfect. And then you get this beautiful design. Do not lose your patience and keep checking and taking it off. I don't think the result will be as good. It did come through the back even a little bit. There's the other half of that. This one was this very thin one that we used at the end as well to spray through. Well, I guess you can see it a little bit. There's nothing on the back. And these are really cool. These are the ones where we use the salt. I love, love, love this right here. Also, this here I think is very cool. You can't really influence this. This is just what happens when you dry your papers on an uneven surface, which was grungy. Gorgeous. Here again, we have the salt. We have a little bit of the white, yay. So on this one, we have the salt and we also have some of the Uncharted Mariner spritz here and even a little bit of the gold. Love this here as well. This is the back. Here again, we have a little bit of the salt and some of the stenciling with the Uncharted Mariner. Salt here, here, and here. Uncharted Mariner and the gold spray. I mean, this area up here. Ooh! Also this here. I mean, it's just gorgeous. These are the ones where we added the instant coffee granulates. This is almost too much for me. I rather like these spots here that are more spread out. So I think less is more in this case. The back is gorgeous as well. Looks very different. It's like the back is like a subtle version of the very distinct front here. I don't know how I got this, to be honest, but I love it so much. Again, of course, this was the coffee. This is a little more subtle. I like that a little better. And the gorgeous backside. This is too much for me, but I mean, I still think these papers will look gorgeous in combination with other papers. Again, we have this here, which is similar to this one here. I really don't know how I got these. I wish I knew because I would love to do that again because it looks amazing. I just love how the coffee just kind of spread. So remember, we didn't just add the coffee granulates on top. We sprayed some of the same solution on it to make it spread a little bit more. Yeah, this is the back. We have more of that here, plus a little bit of gold shimmer. And then this one. And this is the last one with the coffee. See, I like these areas here, even this one. We also have a little bit of the gold shimmer here. I mean, the gold and the coffee combined is just gorgeous. And these are, I think, some of my favorites. These are the ones that I had crinkled up in a ball. And they would have been even more amazing if I would have also, because I just sprayed them from one side, I should have also turned them around and sprayed them from the other side. And I should have done that also after they started drying or even after they were mostly dry to spritz them again, because I've done that with coffee and then you get really dark edges So I will definitely do that again and be more patient, because then you get more of these areas that we see here. And by the way, I did iron these, not the other ones, but these, because these were all crumpled up. But I just love these effects. I mean, that's really gorgeous, especially combined with the gold. The gold was kind of like a byproduct, because we had spritzed the papers next to these paper balls with the gold. And then I thought, let's just add a little bit of that to these. And that was a great decision, because the gold and the blue like this, oh my goodness, so gorgeous. I also love this crumpled look. Look at these areas here. Oh, wow. Yeah, so if you want more of those areas, you have to spray more to get more of these dark edges. Obsessed. Also this I love. Again, we have a little bit of gold there in the middle. Yeah. Here. Here. Oh, I love these areas. Oh, look at this. Wow. And this is the last one of those. So I have quickly put together a signature so you could see what these papers would look like combined with other papers. In my case, I have combined this with my kit called Watercolor Meadows. I chose this particular kit because it has these beautiful different shades of vibrant blues and other vibrant colors, which I think will provide a really beautiful contrast to the blue and also the coffee dyed papers, because we also have these beautiful browns in here. And by the way, if you want to check out this particular paper kit, I will have all the links below: the backgrounds, the ephemera pages, the planner pages. And I have something special planned with these backgrounds as well. I'm working on another kit with specific templates, but more about that in an upcoming video. So let me just give you a quick flip through of this one signature. I would never make a signature this fat, but just for the sake of seeing the combinations of papers, that is what I did. So combining it with neutral papers like book pages. These are some other papers that I've dyed a long time ago. I have a whole playlist linked below for you with different paper dyeing techniques, where you can also see me dye these and various other techniques. I just love this, like petroleum blue combined with these blues. Oh my goodness. Here with the coffee again, this works perfectly with the colors we have here. Again, this beautiful petrol blue with this blue. And I also actually think that these shades of reds and pinks are really beautiful together with the blue. That's a combination I would usually not have come up with. There again, just with neutral tones. So you could make a journal just keeping it neutral, or you could add the vibrant colors. I think both work extremely well with this particular color. Here with the salt. I mean, how beautiful is a page like this in a journal? And this combination, oh wow, love it. Again, we have the beautiful coffee here. We have these tones here. Like, for me, this is the perfect combination. Here we have the gold. Imagine some gold splatters on this page. Woo! These papers are also in the playlist below, if you want to see how I made these using dyes. Need I say more? Here again, we have some gold. These are also in the playlist. I am so happy with this. And I think it just adds another dimension to a junk journal. I mean, look at this combination. I think this is so much better than just having the coffee. I mean, I love coffee dyed papers to bits, but this now in combination with, in particular, this set, for me, this is like, it couldn't get any better. Love it, love it, love it. Again, the salt here. I really also love these just with the neutral combined. I mean, look at the contrasts, right? It's all about contrasts. We have the gold there on the left side. I love this as well because, again, here we have the neutral tones. We also have these light colors where the paper is not dyed through the dye. And we have these light areas here as well, and that just complements each other beautifully. Obviously, I would add ephemera on here as well and all kinds of different things. But again, look how peaceful this is. And this is like, bam! Obviously, I would add something bam here as well. And here again, neutral, neutral. This definitely would need something, as well as this page. Also these coffee sprinkles, just gorgeous. Again, here I like all these light areas and these light areas as well. Even with just this background, you know, there's nothing else happening on this background, but this is so harmonious for me. And that's it. So that's how your journal could look like if you wanted to. So I hope you have fun with this technique. Try it out. Let me know if you've ever tried this technique or what your experiences are. Love you guys. Mwah! Mwah!